Hello and welcome to this week's vlog. So we'll just have a quick walk up and down the plots and see what's going on the first week in July. So we'll start off at the top, and this is the comfrey. I cut all this back about 2 weeks ago and it's come back to life, so in a couple of weeks it'll be time to give it another cut down. This bed is just full of all the leftover brassicas. I'm not sure many of them will survive, but I put them in anyway. They've got more chance of surviving in the ground than they have in the pots, and if they do well, we get something out of them, all the better. This is the asparagus bed. So it's second year, so I've not taken any cuttings from it yet. So next year I shall just harvest a few, and then the year after that we should be good to go. I've tried to tie them up as best I can, but they're flopping all over the place. And I found my trowel that I've been looking for. And then down the side of the Polytunnel, this is the flower and strawberry bed. Lupin's just come up. For some reason it comes up really late on this side of the plot. I'm not sure why, it's probably lack of sun. The dahlias, the majority of them come through. Just had to put some covers on because I think it's the pigeons that have been nibbling on them. And we'll have some flowers within a week or two. Foxgloves are all starting to go over. We're getting a few strawberries, but not a huge amount at the moment. This is the second flower bed. It's not looking brilliant at the moment. The foxgloves are starting to die off. Calendulas are coming through. It should be alright in a week or two. And there the onions still drying. I might give them another week and take them home. These are everything that I've got left over. So they're Savoy cabbage, a couple of sprouts, some spring onions that really need to go in the ground. It's another strawberry bed, needs weeding. Into the Polytunnel. That's the cucumber, allegedly, that one of the plot neighbours gave me. Watermelon plant, not doing particularly well indoors. I'll show you the two that I've got outdoors, which are doing a lot better. That cucumber's doing okay. The melons are doing all right. I've got two, they're starting to grow nicely. Peppers in the tubs with the wicks. I've put some pieces of wood and stood them on. They've still got the wicks into the water, but they're not set directly on it. And I've two of these tomatoes. I've taken the rest up to the second plot because it was getting a little bit of a squeeze in here. But everything's looking good. Sweet peppers, as I said last week, in the homemade compost are doing a lot better. And so the tomatoes, we've got one here that's dying off. So what I might do is I might transplant the one from the back there and pop it into that space. Just got to take off some of the side shoots off these. The grapevine over the past week or so is doing really well. It's putting a lot of growth. A couple of bunches of grapes there. Hopefully they'll redden up soon. Yeah, so everything's looking pretty good. Apart from that one sickly tomato plant, everything else is looking okay inside the Polytunnel. Have a walk up here past the compost bins. Just had a delivery of manure, so I've just popped some into the hot compost. I'm going to put a little bit of water on it because it's quite dry, and then cover it over. And over the past week I've sorted out the water barrels, so they're all level now. They've got the siphon system, so they'll all be at the same level, and then the water just comes in through there. And I put this upside down with a little hole in it, get a little bit extra. Got some turnips there and a couple of red cabbage that need to go in. It's the first sowing of carrots. A lot of them have started to go to seed. I'm not sure why. Second sowing. They're looking a lot better. I don't know if you can see any. There's no tops on there, but the tops are starting to form on the first sowing. And then there's a few parsnips that did survive, so they're doing all right in there. Tray of flowers, Scotch bonnet pepper, and some more lupins that I might put into the area that I've just cleared on the second plot. I'll have a look at that in a moment. A beer bottle that I found while I was digging. Got 5 more daimias here and 4 more lupins. This is the first of the onion bed. These are all Bedfordshire Champion, and they're doing okay. I gave them all a feed of bluefish and bone and seaweed the other day. Beetroot in the planters, it's going really well. These are the parsnips. As you can see on this one, I've thinned them out a little bit, and I shall do the same on these two, so hopefully we should have some parsnips. And then there's a couple in here that germinated. There was 3 rows. I've got 4 or 5 plants out of that. That's a parsnip I've let go to seed. Mine's 2. I need to take the last picking of that. I think they've probably gone a little bit too far, but any that are left over I'll just save the seed for next year. Calvert Wonder did absolutely nothing, just got eaten by the slugs. But the broad beans are okay. They're starting to get rust on them, but that's not going to affect the what's inside the pods. There's some quite large pods on there, and they're quite firm to the touch, so that means the beans must be ready. These are the red onions. These were grown from set. Onion set, sorry, that I popped in. The 2 rows of Utah Jumbo, and then the rest are Elsa Craig. The Utah Jumbo and Elsa Craig were all grown from seed, and I've given them a good feeding as well. Put some 6X, some Grow More, and then give them a good watering with seaweed. Carrot bed, so everything's looking okay in there. I did put some extras in just to fill some of the gaps, but I think they're probably being crowded out by the larger plants. Now this was the early onion bed. I've taken them out, I've given it all a good cleaning, and I've put in 10 cabbage, and up the middle I've just popped in a row of leeks. They were just sat in pots, so I thought, why not? I'm just going to give them a little bit of a water in a little while. And then we're up to the sweet corn and pumpkin bed. And the butternut squash has finally come to life. Sweet corn's doing okay. Charmant pumpkin's doing okay. They're starting to make their way up the arch. I don't know if they'll grow fully up the arch, but it looks okay to me. Got some beetroot that I just put in here. That's a outdoor cucumber. Butternut squash starting to produce some fruit. And then the other half of the bed, this has got the 3 courgette plants in. Getting a couple of yellow. I think I've had 2 this week. I've not had any green yet, but they are starting to come through now, so the plants are picking up. And the corn's doing okay in here. Into the fruit cage, and everything's gone a little bit wild in here. These are the Kent Blue peas that Nick the gardener sent me. They're doing okay. I might have to put an extra little bit of a mesh on top because they're growing quite high. These are the Oregon Sugar Snap, a second sowing, with a couple of beetroot that found their way in. Some sweet peppers that really aren't enjoying themselves. There's raspberries popping up everywhere. The gooseberries are growing well, but there's no fruit on them. I think that's a red currant. It's got 4 or 5 currants on it. These are the King Tut peas again that Nick sent me. They're doing really well. And then these are alderman podding peas, and they're starting to swell up nicely. And this little bit of rain that we've got, we're doing the world of good, but they're not ready just yet. And then these obviously are the raspberries. I'm not sure if these are early or late variety, but these are all cut down basically to bare roots, and it looks like they're getting fruit on them. So perhaps they are an early variety. But this whole cage needs a good cleaning, which is what I'm planning to do. So that's the whole of the first plot. Let's pop up to the second plot now and have a bit of a look around there. This is the area that we tidied up last week. I've put a little cage around the poppies because they're flopping all over the path, but the bees and the insects can still get to them. The pond's looking nice and clear. Might get my first lily flower. I've never had one on the lily plant at home. Rhubarb, I'm still undecided whether I'm going to move that yet. And these are the 3 planters that I put in last week. Starting to get some nice little flowers on them. And also with the extra leeks, I've just put them in here. They may well die off, but I don't want to see them die in a pot. I'd rather give them their chance in the soil. I think the strawberries have come to an end now. Fig tree in a bucket seems to be okay. It's putting on a few new leaves, so that's all good. Just a couple of calendula that I just threw into a pot. I think it's going to be a good year for blackberries. This year it's absolutely hundreds all the way around the arch. I need to tie these others in, but there's loads there. I'm just hoping that the birds don't get them first. I've got some raspberries coming along here as well. Some cosmos from last year. This is the area obviously that I cleared this morning. I really want to turn this into sort of like a huge flower bed. Put lots of perennial flowers in, like lupins and dahlias and things like that. But that's probably not going to get this done this year. I'm just going to cover it over with black weed membrane. Pongo beans are doing okay, apart from one at the end, which has been nibbled off. But I'm not too worried about that. These are the squash that I put in, and these are large poles. I've put that around about 12 inches, 30 centimetres into the soil, and all I do is when I water, I just fill up to the top and let it soak into the ground, so it keeps the base of the plant nice and dry. Runner beans are starting to work their way up the canes. The squash on this side I've done the same again, just dropped in an old down pipe. And these are the 3 Knee Plus Ultra that germinated. So I'm just keeping an eye on them, and hopefully I'll get some seed off them for next year. Outdoor tomatoes are probably doing better than I thought they would. There's a few tomatoes on that one, nothing on this one yet, but there's some flowers. Sweet peppers, California Wonder, are not enjoying it out here, nor is the basil. And then these are the watermelon that I've sown outside. You can see it there, it's starting to make its way. It's grown quite a lot actually in the past week, but I need to weed the rest of the tunnel. And the climbing French beans again are starting to make their way up. There's another watermelon in this side. Let's just lift them up so we can have a look. That's doing okay, starting to send out new leaves.
So that should be fine in there. Oh, just drop the pin back in. A couple more squash. I'm going to do the same with some with the down tubes again. I'm going to drop them in so I'm watering into the ground. More French beans. And this is the cabbage bed. So these are the cabbage that are resown, and again they've absolutely been decimated by the slugs. One survived, two are looking very worse for wear. Weeds are thriving though. They're Primo 3. These are doing a little bit better, growing quite nicely. Try and find the label. No, that's gone. I believe that's Romanesco cauliflower. So we've got one there. Sprouts. Nothing on those. There's nothing. But they're not looking too bad. I need to get a little bit of this mare's tail and whatnot out. But other than that, that brassica bed is looking pretty healthy. In fact, that's not far off being ready to take that, isn't it? I'm going to take that next week. And the cauliflower. I think these first ones are the collard greens, so I think you just pick the leaves as required. I've never had them before. Yeah, so it's all looking good in there. This is basically the Calabrese bed. Needs a really good weeding, but I'm going to have to get onto that next week. A couple of red cabbage, they're all doing okay. And this was a row of parsnips, and one germinated. So the job for next Friday is to get that bed weeded and looking neat. Potatoes, a couple of misfires. There's nothing there, and there's one missing there, but other than that they've all come through. So these are the Desiree, which were sown on the 10th of the 5th. Yeah, and I've got a row of Caesar, which were again sown on the 10th of May. And these are Salpamira, which were sown on the 4th of May. I think, yeah, they're Wilger, which again was sown on the 4th of May. And then if we move in to the final area, we're taking a harvest today. Again, these are a load of Calabrese, some purple broccoli, and there's lots of cauliflowers that are ready to go. I think that one there has blown. But I'm really happy with that. They've got 3, 7, 8, 10 good cauliflowers there, so that's enough for me. Shall take them home, process them. Yeah, these are all starting to heart up quite nicely. And the label's washed away. Oh no, these are so the cauliflower, sorry, Clapton F1. You should be growing those again. Never had much luck with cauliflower before, but these are looking good. Curly kale is doing okay. Sprouts are just about holding on. That one's fought its way back from at least 2 or 3 good slug attacks. Bit more Calabrese and some red cabbage. So that's how we're looking at the start of July. I'm pretty happy with where I am at the moment.
There's still a lot of little jobs that need doing, but at least the plot looks neat and tidy, and we've got plans for the future. So I'm just going to harvest the cauliflower now, and then I'm going to pop home for my lunch.